Hello, my brothers and sisters, and welcome to The Last Ego on Earth. My name is James Scott Shoemaker, and today we're going to continue on with the text of the Course of Miracles, the Foundation for Inner Peace edition here. And we are on page 7, and this is number 2, Revelation, Time, and Miracles. Number 1, revelation induces complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. It reflects the original form of communication between God and his creations, involving the extremely personal sense of creation, sometimes sought in physical relationships. Physical closeness cannot achieve it. Miracles, however, are genuinely interpersonal and result in true closeness to others. Revelation unites you directly with God. Miracles unite you directly with your brother. Neither emanates from consciousness, but both are experienced there. Consciousness is a state that induces action, though it does not inspire it. You are free to believe what you choose, and what you do attest to what you believe. All right, guys, so what Jesus is saying here, and I've experienced this, is revelation induces a complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear. When I first before I received the Course, I was riddled with guilt and upset and sadness. And one night, I was on my kitchen floor, like you see in the movies, and I asked Jesus if he was real. I said, Jesus, if you're real, please, I need help. And I felt this warm, wonderful feeling that I've never felt before. It's like God shivers is what I call it. That was revelation. It was a direct link to the Holy Spirit. And it's beyond words. You can't even explain it. Like even now that I'm saying it, it's not doing it any justice. So revelation is between direct communication between you and God. Miracles are the ability of us to make the choice to link up to Holy Spirit and forgive our judgments upon our brothers and sisters, and also our fears and our doubts and our anger and all those things that we have. That gives us the chance to hand them over to Holy Spirit. So revelation is an all-knowing that God is now speaking to us directly, and the other is us making that choice for a miracle, which is handing over our upsets over to Holy Spirit and our judgments upon our brothers and sisters, because it all stems from us. All right, guys. So number 2, revelation is intensely personal and cannot be meaningfully translated. That's what I was just saying. You can't really translate it because it's this amazing out of the body experience that you can have. That is why an attempt to describe it in words is impossible. Revelation induces only experience. Miracles, on the other hand, induce action. They are more useful now because of their interpersonal nature. In this phase of learning, working miracles is important because freedom from fear cannot be thrust upon you. Revelation is literally unspeakable because it is an experience of unspeakable love. And that's my testament. It's beyond any love that you have felt on earth. I can't explain it. So just keep asking, and I hope that everybody that is doing the course at some point will feel this, and I'm sure if you ask Holy Spirit, you will. All right, guys. Number 3, awe should be reserved for revelation, in which it is perfectly and correctly applicable. It is not appropriate for miracles because the state of awe is worshipful, implying that one is lesser, other stands before its creator. You are a perfect creation and should experience awe only in the presence of the creator of perfection. The miracle is therefore a sign of love among equals. Equals should not be in awe of one another because awe implies inequality. It is therefore an inappropriate reaction to me. An elder brother is entitled to respect for his greater experience and obedience for his greater wisdom. He is also entitled to love because he is a brother, and to devotion if he is devoted. It is only my devotion that entitles me to yours. There is nothing about me that you cannot attain. I have nothing that does not come from God. The difference between us now is that I have nothing else. This leaves me in a state which is only potential in you. No man cometh unto the Father but by me does not mean that I am in any way separate or different from you except in time. And get this, guys, and time does not really exist. The statement is more meaningful in terms of a vertical rather than a horizontal axis. Before I flip the page here, I have this underlined. It always just really gets to me that Jesus is actually talking to us here in this state of there is nothing about me that you cannot attain. And I know that he was saying that in the Bible also. And it just brings peace to me that he is speaking directly to us at this point. I would highly recommend reading 3 and 4 over and over. I know that I do. I mean, in my book here, I have it underlined. I love going back to that spot and seeing that our brother is on the other side. Just really, we're at this rung of the ladder and he's just a little bit above us pulling us up. And I think it's just beautiful. All right, guys, we're going to switch on over to page 8. You stand below me, and I stand below God. In the process of rising up, I am higher because without me, the distance between God and man would be too great for you to encompass. I bridge the distance as an elder brother to you on the one hand, and as the Son of God on the other. My devotion to my brothers has placed me in charge of the sonship, which I render complete because I share it. Now that's very important. I have that underlined too. What he's saying here is that we are the sonship. We all are the sonship. We're just asleep. Jesus is outside the dream with Holy Spirit, which if you can grasp upon this, Holy Spirit is just us awake on the other side. We're just dreaming a dream that has been far long over, guys. This is Jesus's way and our way of collapsing the nightmarish dream that we created at one point and breaking it down faster. So I know we'll get into that a little bit later, but just amazing, just amazing. So here we go. This may appear to contradict the statement that I and my Father are one, but there are two parts to the statement in recognition that the Father is greater. Revelations are indirectly inspired by me because I am close to the Holy Spirit and alert to the revelation readiness of my brothers. I can thus bring down to them more than they can draw down to themselves. The Holy Spirit mediates higher to the lower communication. Please forgive me, guys. Here we go. Like I said, I'm just doing this with you. So the Holy Spirit mediates higher to lower communication, keeping the direct channel from God to you open for revelation. Revelation is not rhetorical. It proceeds from God to you, but not from you to God. The miracle minimizes the need for time. In the longitude and horizontal plane, the recognition of the equality of the members of the sonship appear to involve almost endless time. However, the miracle entails a sudden shift from the horizontal to the vertical perception. This introduces the interval from which the giver and the receiver both emerge farther along in time than they would otherwise have been. I'm going to stop there one quick moment and explain what this actually means. When we are doing forgiveness with our brothers and sisters in this reality, there is the ego script that happened long ago. I'm gonna go ahead and break it down really quick. When we separated from God, we were the son. He created us. We're the sonship. When we decided to create this world, what would it be like with not being God? We created the upside down world that we are experiencing now, of pain, destruction, upset, all the things that we see in the world that are terrible. That's the ego script. Now, God, on the other hand, when he saw us fall asleep and fall from grace, he created what is called the atonement. Now, the atonement is headed up by Jesus, and he is the symbol for us to wake up. But do understand from what this is telling us here is we are all the sonship. Jesus just woke up and was the solution to our problem when we fell asleep. So the atonement was set in place before, right when we fell asleep and fell, the atonement was put in place, and now we are collapsing time. So this is talking about that collapsing of time. When we forgive in this lifetime the things that are coming forth in front of us, we're collapsing lifetimes that we have lived. So let's say someone, I have a father that has is abusive. Please understand that in some other lifetime, either it be the past or the future, because it's all over, we ourselves have been the abuser. And I'm talking even maybe in a caveman time, like we were a caveman and we were abusing as a father our children or something like that. So if we can forgive our father in this, or our human father in this lifetime, that collapses that reality or that caveman that was abusive. You might have been abusive in many, many, many lifetimes and just have never gotten it right. In this lifetime, you're experiencing that pain of that because of those lifetimes. And that kind of explains why horrible things to happen to different people. They seem to be happening, guys. That's the thing too. This is all a trick of the ego's illusion. It's trying to make our bodies very real, and also we are projecting our guilt onto ourselves, and that's how we are causing our own pain, by seeing the echoes of our past mistakes. And they are just mistakes, because in reality we are love, and we're also on the other side already awake. So we are living a dream of something that has happened a long time ago. All right, guys, I'm not quite sure where I left off, so I'm just going to start off at 6:4. This introduces an interval from which the giver and the receiver both emerge farther along the time than they would have otherwise been. The miracle thus has the unique property of abolishing time to the extent that it renders the interval of time it spans unnecessary. And that's what I was just talking about. There is no relationship between the time a miracle takes and the time it covers. The miracle substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. And that's what I was talking about. We have lived thousands of lifetimes. So this is saving us. If we can get it right here and forgive that abusive father, forgive that person that, say, murdered someone somewhere, and let that go over the Holy Spirit, we can collapse thousands of lifetimes that we have possibly gotten it wrong. And it saves us time and gets us home faster than believing in all these lies that we're seeing in front of us that are being shown by our ego. So, this is 6:8. It does so by the underlying recognition of perfect equality of giver and receiver on which the miracle rests. The miracle shortens time by collapsing it, thus eliminating certain intervals within it. It does this, however, with the larger temporal sequence. So, once again, timelines, just really quick. So, I like to think of time as this book here. And I'm going to say right here is where I'm talking to you from. But all of this is all of the lifetimes that we have lived. And believe it or not, they're all going on right this moment. We're only focused on one channel. If you like to think of it as cable TV, you've got 4,000 channels, HBO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 12. You've got Cinemax 4 through 12. You've got the cooking channel 5 through 6. They're all being broadcast at the very same time. But we're focused on watching Seinfeld. That's where we're at. We're watching the whole season of Seinfeld. All those channels are going on at the same time. But if we're watching, in that one timeline, we have the ability to start collapsing all the other little stories in the cable TV and bring it back to focus. And then we start collapsing time. And I'm talking the negative aspects of time. We remain whole and complete and in love, which that's our true presence. As the Course talks, that we are only undoing the blocks to love's presence. So the blocks are those guilts, those angers, those hates, those upsets, the judgments. That's the stuff that we are removing. We're not learning how to love. We are uncovering what we truly are. And that's the beauty in it. A lot of times we think that we have to learn love. We are love. We are just covered in the muck. So like I said, timelines are going on. We'll talk more about this, and of course Jesus does in the Course. But try to wrap your head around it if you're new to the Course. Even me being 10 years into this, it's still kind of sometimes a little bit hard to wrap my mind around that it's all happening at once. We always want to think that it's happening in the past and that the future, can be, is something that is not written yet. It is in the script. It might change if you make a different decision in this lifetime. You might, Holy Spirit has the ability to rewrite the script for you if you get things right. So if you're undoing the negative aspects of this world, there's a new script that gets put right under it, and that's what that's what the Course calls the happy dream. And the happy dream is where, before you know it, life's just roses. You feel lighter, you feel wonderful, you feel happy all the time. There might be upset still happening in the world, but you're not affected. If it is in your reality or in your peripheral, you're either shown love or you're shown an upset, and then you are the love in that upset. So if someone's in pain or you need to take care of something, you don't coil away, and you actually allow Holy Spirit to let you be the light in that situation. You're that voice that people look to, and you become the light through the Holy Spirit. I always like to think of us as instruments, and if you tune us, you tune your instrument to the correct tune, people will listen, and you have your own unique tune. That's what's so beautiful. We all are one mind, but through the Holy Spirit's grace and God's grace is allowing us to continue on as us, but a refined us, a beautiful us, one without the ego. And boy, can you imagine a world without that? All right, guys, I hope you had a wonderful time talking through Revelation, Time and Miracles here on page 7 and 8. I will return soon with the 8 and 9, and I think 10. Yep, 10 and a little bit 11. So I'll see you guys next time. You guys have a wonderful evening or day wherever you're at. Peace be with you, my brothers and sisters, and I will see you on the other side. Bye-bye, guys. Talk soon.
Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. Prepare yourself for all it's worth. Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. Prepare yourself, the last ego on earth. Prepare yourself from the dirt to the birth. Prepare yourself from the birth to the dirt. The last ego on earth.